Okay, folks, welcome once again to a secret location hidden downtown in downtown St. John's, hidden very well. Welcome to the best of 2017 episode of In the Library of Graphic Literature. I'm your host, Wallace Ryan, and tonight we have a special guest here, Dennis Osbourne, fellow raconteur and omnibus lover.
Hello, ahoy, Captain.
So we're, I feel like Captain and Neil. So we're here to actually bring you the best of books.
The best.
So
Best and our favorites of the year.
We spent about 20 minutes here picking through the library and picked out some of our best books here. So we're going to lay them on you. Okay, you first. You can have the first pick.
All right. I'm probably going to go with the Velvet Deluxe hardcover. I've always been a huge Ed Brubaker fan, mostly for his crime noir.
Oh, yes.
But he also did, more so was run on Captain America, was very espionage.
Yeah.
And that kind of transferred well to the Velvet hardcover. And this was definitely one of my picks. It's one of my monthly comics that I get. And when it came on deluxe hardcover, I had to pick it up as well. So I had to double dip.
And as you can see, I'm still in the middle of reading them. But I'm loving it. I've read every other one, like all the ones that are on the shelf. No bookmarks in them.
No. So this is probably one of mine. It's from Image. So
yeah. Oh, that's a beauty. That's a good one. I'll pick one here now. Let's see. I'll start off with actually a Yo book here. For our good buddy Craig Yo. Hey Craig, you rock. This is a book, Fiction House. This is basically, Fiction House was a company, they bought a lot of their comics from the Eisner Auger studio. So the boys packaged them for them. These guys did more pulp magazines and that sort of thing. So, I mean, there's all kinds of great talent in the comics anyway. I was going to say from them or whatever, but Flight Comics, that was another one of their big ones. But basically, Jungle Comics, Phantoma, a lot of great stuff. I love Craig Yo's books here because they're history lessons too. Besides, getting a good shot full of comics and all that, he always has these great introductory sections where he talks about the comics and stuff like that. Here's a good look at them. Pretty cool. So there was another Craig Yo book too that I was gonna pick out too. God, it was too bad Super Weird Heroes was last year, and next year, and the next one's coming out next year because those were fabulous. But yeah, anyway, this one is definitely up there anyway. So toss that. You pick one from the stack.
all right, probably one of my favorites.
Oh, hefty.
Justice League International by Giffen DeMatteis and Kevin McGuire. And he's always been a favorite of mine. This run was late 80s going into early 90s.
Mid to late 80s,
yeah.
as I recall.
Justice League as a humor comic, which no one thought would work.
No.
And it's probably my favorite era of the Justice League.
Oh, okay.
And it's funny, it's satirical, it has a great cast: Blue Beetle, Booster Gold, Batman, Mr. Miracle, Big Barda. The hardcover is absolutely gorgeous. So this one is Justice League 1-6. Then it turned over to Justice League International 7-25. Then went back to Justice League of America 26-30. Annuals. And then it starts the Europe and the Suicide Squad tie-in.
Okay.
It's probably the DC one, besides a certain one we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
That I was probably the most excited for. Printing error or not.
Oh yeah, who cares? I don't care.
You don't care about a printing error.
No, nah.
So this is probably one of my top ones of the year.
Share to the fine folks out there. Yeah, I love McGuire's artwork too.
His One Punch.
Oh yeah. But it was a great series. I bought this. Well, I mean, I was old enough to be collecting comics, and I remember buying the first issue of that and reading it. It was just like, wow, this is unlike any other Justice League that I've read up to this point.
And you won't dream of it now. So.
Oh no. Okay, for me, Let's see. Oh, I'll do the Brave and Bold, sure. Speaking of omnibuses here, this is Brave and the Bold. This has some great early Neil Adams work, including the classic first appearance of Green Arrow's new costume, which at the time was, was revolutionary. This also gets into a bit of Nick Cardy and then even a bit of Jim O'Farrell. So I love this. This has a little bit from everyone.
A little bit of everyone.
Right? So yeah, that's a classic one too. Okay.
Right. Next.
Next.
Let's see. Alright, considering he's my favorite superhero, I'm going to go with Amazing Spider-Man Volume 3. This one was very late coming out after Volume 1 and 2.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
It took several years, like maybe 4 or 5, for this one to come out. This has basically Crisis on Campus, and The Tablet of Time, which is just a guilty pleasure because it's so ridiculous. The Silvermane story, and Man Mountain Marco. So this was probably one I was really excited to reread.
Yeah.
Because I had some paperbacks of collecting the odd Tablet of Time saga, but it continues to run. So it's still continues with John Romita, and it goes in a little bit of the Gil Kane stuff.
Yeah,
which will later. So if we ever end up seeing a Volume 4, maybe with another movie coming out, we should end up getting the Death of Gwen Stacy
into the Ross Andrews
stuff later on.
Yeah.
This is 104.
Yeah.
So another 30 issues of that. You should probably end up seeing a lot of the end of the Silver Age era.
Yes, really.
Start to kick in. Yeah. So another highly recommended one.
Yes, that's a beauty there. Hand me Calamity Jane there, sure, for a second. This one, not a biography. Calamity Jane, The Calamitous Life of Martha Jane Cannary. And I mean, I just picked it up because it had this neat cartoony style too and all that. But I started reading it and it was just like, Jesus, this is really good. It has like I say, a really great cartoony like style too. But it's, for some reason, it's perfect for this story. Right? It has a Wild West feel to it, and Calamity Jane sounds like someone who was calamitous. But I like I say, I love the style of it and all that, and it's. I'm still reading this one, of course, too. So I'm not sure how it works out. I think she dies in the end.
No spoilers, though.
Damn. Okay, go for it.
Right.
What's your next choice here?
I'm gonna.
It's like Christmas here, isn't it?
I'm gonna stay with Marvel.
Aha.
I'm a little biased on Marvel, but we're gonna double dip here.
Woohoo!
And we're going to go Shang Chi, Master of Kung Fu, Volume 3 and 4, also known as the Mike Zeck era, and then the Jean Day.
Yeah.
We were just talking about it. Your favorite is actually Paul Gulacy.
Yeah.
So probably a little bit of Volume 1 into Volume 2.
Yeah.
These are absolutely gorgeous to look at.
Yeah. And the Deadly Hands of Kung Fu, too,
and the Deadly Hands
were my favorites, too.
And they were released this year.
Yeah.
But
they're in there. They're in the back.
They're
there somewhere.
So, but these were among mine. Huge story. It was never reprinted due to a lot of copyright issues with Fu Manchu.
Yeah.
His father.
The Sam Romer estate and all that.
They couldn't do that, and they finally started reprinting them in Omnibus, and we jumped at the chance to get them.
Yeah.
And I think they're actually starting to come out in paperback soon too.
Yeah. Now I'd heard rumors that they were only going to do it once, but
a limited printing run.
Yeah.
So
now that could be rumors, but who knows?
Who knows?
But that's an excellent choice there. Yeah, had to have those myself, right? Here we go. This is an unusual one. This one, actually, I just had this on a couple of weeks ago. The Green Hand and Other Stories. This was stuff from early heavy metal. Very bizarre stories. I love this depressed bird here. Even as a kid, when I first read this, I thought, wow. That bird is very, very depressed. But great story. Absolutely great story. Worth reading. Okay.
I'll take that one.
Your turn there.
Alright. I'm going to do a couple of mine that I brought over.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the Mike Waring Otello's Tribute, Volume 1 and Volume 2. Several years ago now, he passed away, and this was his creator-owned title. And multiple artists and writers came together to continue his story. They were 2 full volumes released throughout the year. All proceeds of the books, 100% went to the ASPCA because he was a huge animal lover.
Oh, okay.
And I was showing Wallace earlier the list of creators that are involved in it. The Simonsons, Stan Sakai, Todd Knock,
Joe Rubenstein,
George Perez,
Jerry Ordway,
George Medina,
Sean McManus,
Jim Calafiore, Sal Buscema, who's a favorite of mine.
yeah, Rich Case.
So, and there's
Wow,
over
yeah.
200 artists.
Yeah, there are
And
a lot
it was a good cause. They were pre-ordered in advance, so they only made as many copies as were pre-ordered. So there were none kicking around in the wild unless they were secondhand. I have the original 2 hardcovers, and it was a pleasure to get these. I'm actually rereading it now in one shot, so once I get through them, I'm actually opening these, because these are actually still sealed.
Yeah. I love that.
So I wanted to start from scratch, and they'll be open and read soon.
Okay.
So,
Excelente. Excelente. Let's see now. Oh, here, I got a couple of independent ones here. I'll zip real quickly. This one was a big favorite of mine, Cartoon Clouds, Joseph Remnant. This is about a guy as he finishes up art school and all that, and I guess the story of how his life goes from there. I don't know, I really identified with it, having gone through a lot of sort of similar things after I finished up art school and stuff like that, so I figured I'd give that a shot, alright? But it's beautifully written so far. I haven't finished it yet, but so far so good.
so far, so good.
Okay, go for it. Next.
Alright. Next we have Crime Suspense Stories Volume 3. It looks like there's probably going to be 4 in the set.
Yeah.
Volume 2 and Volume 3 came out this year from Dark Horse. The first volume was originally out through Gemstone.
Yeah.
That hasn't been reprinted yet,
But they will.
but it looks like they
yeah.
will be reprinting it. We were talking about this. It wasn't the most well-known after Tales from the Crypt, Vault of Horror, but it's probably the most influential because you had that famous cover from Frederick Wortham, which he used as delinquency in comics, and that basically killed the industry for the 50s.
I think it wasn't this one, but the one with the severed head.
The severed head, that was the issue.
I have a t-shirt of
You
that.
have a t-shirt of that? I'm guessing that will be reprinted in Volume 4.
Yeah.
So I ended up buying these. The stories are great, anyways, but I was buying this more so because of the historical impact.
Yes.
And this caused so much uproar in comics for decades.
Yeah,
And
really.
it started the Comic Code Authority, which lasted until early 2000s.
Oh, really, yeah.
Mostly, this was one of the prime examples for it, so this is why I ended up picking this one for the year.
But a lot of great art too in that
Oh,
one.
yes.
I love their stuff, right?
So, Johnny Craig, obviously,
Yeah.
he was doing a lot of it. Joe Orlando did a couple of issues.
Yeah.
Fred Peters, Sid Check, Al Williamson,
Yeah.
of course. And
Did Kriegstein do any of those? I know.
doesn't say so.
Oh, okay.
So, but still, you get Johnny Craig in it. He was
Oh, yeah.
the best. He had the best covers anyway. So,
I love his stuff, right?
So,
Okay.
so here we go.
Right here. Oh, here we go. Speaking of Sax Rohmer from Master of Kung Fu, this is another thing he did. A story called Dope, which is adapted and illustrated by the legendary Trina Robbins. Hello, Trina. You rule. The first lady of comics, really. And this appeared. I think I even had it actually when it first appeared. This first appeared, I do believe, in an issue of. I think it was Eclipse Monthly, which was one of the great comic book companies of the 1980s, which sadly didn't make it beyond that. But I mean, it's a great story. I can even remember reading it at the time and say, wow, this is super cool, all right? Okay, your turn.
All right. I'm going to skip that for now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to grab another sealed one because it was actually picked up about an hour ago. So this is Swamp Thing Bronze Age. So this is a lot of the Bernie Wrightson, Len Wein, obviously, and Nestor Redondo, which you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Was one of your favorites.
Redondo, I was a big Redondo,
Yeah.
and still I'm a big Redondo fan. So when I see in this book, even though I had the roots
of the Swamp Thing.
of the Swamp Thing, I still had to get it just to get those Redondo books.
So.
He was a master. He was.
So this one is still sealed. So this will be probably read now when we finish up tonight.
Yeah.
This is a cracked open to go through. I remember this was solicited and cancelled, and then there was a huge uproar over it, and then Bernie Wrightson passed away, and they decided to actually publish it, which was a very good thing, because this is one of the omnibus that should exist.
Oh yeah.
And this is a key era of the 70s, and the horror aspect that started coming out with the change in the Comic Code Authority.
Yeah.
We started to see more monsters come out.
Yeah.
And so hopefully the next volume of Swamp Thing, this will lead directly into the Alan Moore one, if we ever get another Alan Moore complete collection.
Yeah.
And it'll start continuing the set then.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
this one's on my list.
Yeah, it's one of my top favorites this year, for sure, right? This one here, The Ladies in Waiting, Santiago Garcia and Javier Alvarez. This is a book about Diego Velázquez, one of the more famous Spanish painters. I think it's basically a work of historical fiction, but involves a lot of stuff that actually did go on in his life, and it's I've read it so far and I love it. The artwork is really incredible. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
All right, we're continuing with another Marvel stack, because you're more familiar with the independents.
Yeah.
We have Daredevil Volume 1.
Oh God.
This was long overdue.
Very long overdue.
So when they originally started doing the omnibus, they came out with all of the key Silver Age characters. You had Avengers, you did your Captain America, your Spiderman, your X-Men. This was only produced this year.
I know. I mean, they have what, three Fantastic Fours,
Three Fantastic Fours,
Spider-Man. You know, everyone really had their books out except for him.
Except for him, it was probably the least popular.
Yeah.
But Bill Everett, Joe Orlando, Wally Wood, then John Romita, Gene Colan. It was never the best-selling.
No,
comic.
I remember reading it as a kid though. I did like Daredevil. I was more of a DC fan growing up, but I can remember being in a car driving across Elizabeth Avenue, heading towards what was Mount Cashel at the time, and reading in the car a Daredevil comic from the 60s. And it was a Gene Colan. I can't remember which one, but the memory is there, right?
I mean, just for the Gene Colan issues.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It was worthy. I mean, they did Tomb of Dracula. They collected his issues before they came out with Silver Age Daredevil Volume 1.
Yeah, I know.
So this was a must-have for any Marvel Omnibus collector.
Yeah.
More so for Silver Age, because it was the last main
superhero
that didn't get one.
Yeah.
And Netflix kind of pushed that out.
Yeah,
so
thank God.
Thank you, Netflix.
And for me, of course, it's the Gene Colan is what brought me to it right away, right? Seen online some guy, I don't think that Gene Colan is that good. And he was practically eaten alive on the screen by everyone else. Like, I mean, Colan to me, he's up there with Kirby and Ditko and all the greatest.
Yeah.
Hands down, he's one of my favorites. I mean, like you say, Tomb of Dracula.
Which should be reprinted soon, because I still don't have them.
Yes.
And I have a huge Marvel Omnibus collection, and I still need volumes of 3, so
those three out there.
I might try and get them on the way out of here tonight. So
what? Wallace is unconscious. Oh, let's see. Oh, here's something for our buddy out there, Don Simpson. Hello, Don, out there in comic book land. This is his book, Border Worlds, his independent comic, and it is worth getting. I always like Don's work, and even his future stuff. It's at the time I can remember everyone loved this book. Everyone was going crazy for it.
it's a fantastic cover.
It kind of reminds me, almost in a way, there was another series called Wandering Star. It sort of has the same sci-fi feeling, underground, cool, great book anyway. Way to go, Don. Okay.
Alright, what's next in the pile?
Woohoo! Oh, yes.
Adam Strange, Silver Age Omnibus.
Yeah.
Classic 50s sci-fi adventures. We were talking about this one earlier on in the day, and it starts off a little bit slow.
Bit rough with the...
with Murphy Anderson doing the art. He didn't get the 50s sleekness down.
No.
Initially,
No.
and then obviously you got Gil Kane, but when Carmine Infantino took over, we were saying you started to see The Planet Ran get more sci-fi-esque. He ended up getting a sleeker costume, very similar to The Flash.
Yeah.
And always been a huge Adam Strange fan.
Yeah, me too.
He doesn't really get a lot of respect.
Yeah.
He's not a key DC character. He was prominent in Darwin Cook's New Frontier, which I was so excited to see. He was a huge fan.
Who did the
cover? Too? So, which is a beautiful cover.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see Volume 2.
I would hope so.
You would hope so.
I'll bring it up close for the folks to have a look at there. And we're into the Infantino stuff here. So Infantino was great in terms of had a real sci-fi look to his cities, looked really cool, and from a not too distant future. But yeah, growing up, I loved Adam Strange. I don't know what it was, but for some reason I thought he was the coolest thing since sliced bread. Oh, hand me over that one there. Okay, this one. And it's funny because this one I'd seen a lot of women buying at the store and all that, and I picked it up out of curiosity and I started reading it. It was actually really, really good. It's called Giant Days. There's no dust jacket on it, in case you're wondering. Who put this out? Oh, this was from Boom. This is from Broom. So Ross Ritchie and you guys, way to go. Good choice. But it's beautifully written. I love the art style is kind of cool, but the story is just around the bend. It's absolutely cool. Besides, I like having books to recommend for women and stuff like that. But to me, that's good for women, men, everyone, boys, girls, me. Okay, you next.
All right, we'll do a double.
Oh, double whammy. Okay.
So
I'll hold that one,
and I'll hold Volume 2. So Marvel Monsters, the Marvel Monster Bus.
Sorry, I had to nick with it a bit.
You were very excited for these.
Oh yes.
When these first came out.
Well, I've been buying the up there the Atlas Masterworks.
Right.
And when they cancelled those, because I was just getting them for the Kirby and Ditko stories. So when they cancelled them, I was ready to kill myself. And then when this came out, I was just like, oh my god, they're coming out with these. Right. Well, I wasted all my money on novels for one thing, but I had to get these just because, this is a lot of monster comics,
it is,
right?
So this was a great one.
Yeah, any of you Ditko fans, not Ditko, Kirby fans out there, these two books are must-haves. I just love the monster, the names of the monsters too. Klaatu. That one has the man in the
Man has randomly opened up to the Man in the Anthill, which is the early Ant-Man story.
Yeah,
kind of a precursor.
Yeah, really one of the first introductions of
you can see there,
of a Marvel Universe character.
Yep.
Unless you come Patsy Walker, right?
Later became Hellcat.
And Groot, of course.
And Groot.
Now, Groot, of course, wasn't the cute little thing he was in the movie, right?
That was one thing that wasn't collected a great deal, was the 50s era of Marvel.
Yeah.
So hopefully you'll see a collection of Westerns. If you see a Western omnibus, romance omnibus, you collect all the young romance and all those eras. They'll be fun to collect, and it's a decade that has no real collection besides a few of the Atlas era.
Yeah.
And where superheroes weren't that prominent in the 50s, it was romance, it was Westerns, it was more cartoon era.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see them.
Well, that's what I'm wondering whether or not we're going to see with the Monsters, a Monsters 2 set of Ditko's Monster Run, which that wouldn't surprise me at all, right? Now, of course, we'll be missing like some of the other guys, because in some of those you'll find old Gene Colan stories, stuff like that. But to me, just getting all the Kirby stories,
all those.
Well, it was so worth it, right?
The John Romita romance comics.
Yeah.
Were absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, absolutely beautifully drawn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now here, and this was, I guess, the last in its series so far. This was the Usagi Yojimbo Saga Legends. So there was how many volumes there? 7 volumes. Then this one. These were cool because these were all signed and numbered, 364 out of 1500. So that was cool. I like that. Besides the fact that I'm a huge Usagi fan, so not only do I have the 7 books over there, but I got the 2 books with the Fantagraphics stories in them, which people are killing for out there now, right? But this is a great this is a great collection because it has Space Usagi and some of the more rare Usagi type of stuff. Like I say, any of the books in this entire series, I mean, I've been reading it since it first came out, and now I slowly over the years sort of fell off and all that. But as soon as I seen them start to release, well, when they released the Fantagraphics book set, got that, then I seen them doing this. It was just like, oh, this brings me right up to date. Okay, go for it.
All right. So it looks like there's about 2 left.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
We'll start off with this one, but I'll let you talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
And then...
Oh, yes. The Fourth World. Where, I mean, you just can't say enough for it, I think. Is like I said, I can remember buying some of the issues when I was a kid. Then later on, when I got older and went back and started to collect and fill up the rest of the Fourth World. As a matter of fact, I got it right up to the point, and I'd only had one Forever People, and this was probably in 83, 84, so this before Hunger Games and all that. So I had a near complete set, and I was in New York going to school there at the time, and I was at the, what is it, the Forbidden Planet.